Please put your hands together. Welcome to the stage. It is Dr. Mhairi Aitken.
Hi, I am Mhairi Aitken. I'm a senior research associate at Newcastle University, and my research, well, actually, I'm going to tell you what my research is about in just a few minutes, because first of all, there's something on my mind, something I'd like to get off my chest, and now seems as good an opportunity as any, because I'm having a bit of relationship trouble. I've been in a fairly intense kind of lockdown relationship over the last few months, and it's really playing on my mind. So actually, I'd quite like to get some advice tonight, if that's okay. So just a few weeks before lockdown started, towards the end of March, I met someone. Her name is Alexa. You might have heard of her. She is quite well known. So I met her towards the end of March, and the first day I met her, it really took me by surprise. There was this incredible connection, like an instant spark. So the day I met her, she came home with me, and she's never left. And it's been fairly intense. So it started off, it was just meant to be a bit of fun. Okay, so she came home with me, we were just kind of fooling around, getting to know each other, nothing serious. But it really took me by surprise, because quite quickly I started to find that I was really relying on her, and I was talking to her about everything. So I could ask her anything. No question was too silly for Alexa. So I'd asked her about the weather. I asked her, to recommend new songs for me. I could even ask her for advice on health conditions or, medical symptoms that anybody in my household was experiencing. So it really took me by surprise, and I wasn't expecting that. But I also, things started to change after a few weeks. The little things, like she kept trying to sell me stuff. She kept trying to make me sign up for new services. And I started to kind of think, what's going on here, Alexa? What is this really about? What are you really trying to do here? And I just started to question things, I guess. I started to get the feeling that maybe she was just using me, using me for my data. Because she was really interested in my data, and she collected a lot of it. And she also shared a lot of it with her buddies back at Amazon. And I know they were using it for lots of things. They were using it for their own research, for analytical purposes. They were also using it to market things to me. So, things I really didn't need, but they were very good at it. So I did buy a lot of it. And I realized that Alexa was costing me increasingly a lot of money. So I started to feel a little bit insecure in the relationship, and started to, doubts were creeping in. And that's around the time that I started paying attention to more of the kind of gossip and, things that people were saying about her reputation. And I'm an adult. I know everybody has a history, everybody has a past. So I'm not expecting, I'm aware that she'll have a history, but Alexa does have quite a lot of history. In the year 2017, 1 million people proposed to Alexa. 1 million marriage proposals in 1 year. That's enough to make anybody feel a bit insecure, isn't it? And also, so there are 100 million Alexa-enabled devices have been sold around the world. And I think that's enough to make anybody start to feel just a little bit insecure in your relationship, right? There's also the rumors about her previous mistakes. And I know everybody makes mistakes, so I don't want to be too hard on her. But Alexa does make quite a lot of mistakes. So it's estimated that if you have Alexa on in your house throughout the day, over the course of a day, she will make, on average, 19 accidental recordings in any one day. So that's when she thinks that you're talking to her, she thinks that you said her name, so she turns on and she records whatever audio happens to be happening in your house. In my house, normally it's children squabbling, but it could be anything. And then there's the other accidents. So the accidents where not only does she accidentally record what you're saying, but she's also accidentally sent audio files of those recordings to random people in people's email address books. So that could be your friend, it could be a colleague, it could be your boss. In one instance, bizarrely, it was in fact somebody's insurance company. And that's a bit of an awkward mistake to make, isn't it? So I guess I was listening to more and more of these stories, and eventually it reached a point where I realized, actually, I don't trust Alexa. Fundamentally, I do not trust her. And people always say that, if you don't have trust in a relationship, what do you have? Trust is really fundamental to a relationship, isn't it? But yeah, so I know I should end it. I know I should kick her out, but I'm ashamed to say I haven't. Alexa is still in my house, and I still play with her most evenings. We still have a lot of fun together. And actually, and then I realized, I've got a lot of relationships like that. So I'm in this long-standing kind of on again, off again relationship with Facebook. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I do not trust Facebook. Absolutely do not trust Facebook. I'm 100% sure Facebook is just using me for my data. I know they're manipulating things on my timeline. I know they're manipulating my friendships. I know they're manipulating what news I see, and even trying to manipulate my electoral preferences. So I do not trust them, but I do still use them because it is just so convenient. And actually, I said I was going to tell you what my research was about. This is what my research is about. I'm a sociologist, and in my research, I look at people's relationships with technologies, new technologies, and particularly artificial intelligence. And I'm really interested in that question of trust. So how or do we trust the technologies that we use? And if we don't trust them, well, why do we still use them? I actually think that's, what my real concern there is that increasingly we don't trust in technologies that we use, and we don't trust the organizations that we interact with or the organizations that we buy services from. Increasingly, we don't really expect them to be trustworthy. I think there's been so many controversies and so many scandals that our expectations have been lowered and lowered. And what is really dangerous about that is it leads to a position of apathy, where actually we don't expect organizations to operate in our best interests. We don't expect technology to maybe benefit us or benefit society. And maybe we don't care. I think that's really dangerous. And that's why we need to talk about Alexa. Thank you.